Mikki, you have been a couple of times to Germany. What is the difference between German humor and US humor?
You know, people ask me that all the time, and the difference is that people think Germans don't have a sense of humor, and Germans have a fabulous sense of humor.
Right.
Maybe different, but fantastic. So you go over and you think, well, maybe they're not going to laugh at the jokes. Well, between Dale Irvin and myself, they were the best audience ever. I had the most time. In fact, I have a signature speech, a signature story in my speech about my first time in Germany and how, what a wonderful audience it was.
Mikki, you are a highly recommended international speaker. What can we in Germany, Austria and Switzerland learn from the US?
You know, there's so many different things. I mean, if you were asking me about marketing, that would be one side. If it's about platform skill, it's another. You know, for me, when I started speaking, part of the best way to me to observe is watching other people. So you're all here. I would suggest observing. What you like, what you don't like, not to copy or to imitate, but to find your own style and say, well, I really like that, and so maybe I should try to be more of that type. So I think it's just to refine whatever you're doing by expanding what we're doing and maybe taking that and putting it on top of it or making it more lateral.
And how did you start your career?
Interesting that you asked this question. It's very timely because the opening of the convention today is going to be my former dance company. Before I was a professional speaker, I was a professional dancer in New York. And
really?
Yes. And then I ran a dance school in Connecticut, and my student bought my school, and they are the opening act for the convention here.
And will you dance with the group?
No, instead of being on stage with my feet, I'm now on stage with my mouth. Yes. You know, when you get as you get older, it makes more sense to use different parts of the body.
And did you ever combine both skills?
I did, and I think that part of it is how I got into this. When I had this dance company that you're going to see generations of later tonight, and they were stuck in a costume change, I used to grab the microphone and start talking to the audience or just start talking to fill up space. And my dancers always used to say, you are like the only person with a microphone. And I think somehow that might have stuck in my head, because when it came time to find a new career, I kept coming back to that, my comfort on stage, my performing as a dancer with a microphone, business person, just kind of a lot to say, and I just kind of packaged all those skills and put them together.
We have speakers and we have trainers.
Yes.
What is for you, Mikki, the difference between a speaker and a trainer?
That's a great question, Lothar. I was an educator. I was also a school teacher. So when I first went into this, I thought I was going to be a trainer. I didn't really know the difference so much between the two. And an agency came to hear me speak, and I thought I was kind of auditioning to be a trainer. And they said, you know, you were very good, but we're not going to hire you. And oh my God, I was crushed. And I said, why not? And they probably did me the biggest favor ever. They said, because you're really a speaker. And I said, what's the difference? They said, you're an entertainer. You educate and entertain. Trainers, and again, this was their concept, which I bought pretty much into because I do some training, is more on the educational side. It doesn't have the wow factor. Yeah. So, you know, I became a keynoter because it really combined the best of my entertainment, educational, and business background by putting all three together. But it's a great question.
So the wow factor is a big difference.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you ask 10 or 12 different speakers here, you may get a different answer. But for me, the speaking part has a little more of the entertainment side of it than the training does. Doesn't make trainers boring or speakers more exciting. That's the concept that I embrace. And as a keynoter, even more so. You know, I run speaker schools now, and I train speakers, and a lot of them want to be keynoters. And I really believe to be a keynoter, there has to be a charismatic side and a more wow factor than even just a speaker. So you may even differentiate those three that way.
What are the mistakes speakers at the beginning of their career do mostly?
Oh, you mean all of mine? Yes. there were many.
No, you said you train you train speakers, so what are their mistakes they do at the beginning?
Yeah, I think a lot of the things that I train speakers now are the mistakes that I made, Lothar, and that I've learned from, and you try to help people not make them. One of them is to come here and copy. I want to, you know, I hear you speak and I say, oh, not copy your material, but copy who you are. And as you can tell, I'm not your most conservative speaker. And it took a while in the beginning for me to realize I can brand me. I can be me, and I can be unique. And that would really set me apart from who everybody else is. So I think a mistake people do is they come here and they try to be other people, and they're not. Or they start up a big office, and they don't need a big office. Or they spend a tremendous amount of money on marketing materials, and they just don't know who they are yet. So I think that's one of the biggest things I would tell them.
Always be yourself.
That has always been my mantra. In fact, my mantra is be outrageous. It's the only place that isn't crowded.
Yes. Okay. Thanks a lot, Mikki. It was a great pleasure for us.
Thank you, Lothar.
And enjoy the conference.
I'll be